Welcome to weekly Forex forecast from Forex Trading Wizard Academy. This is Forex Wizard, your trading coach. I'll be doing a complete multi-time frame analysis of all the hottest currency pairs, cryptocurrencies and indices that we will be looking to trade next week. Now the list is a bit longer as usual. I'll put a timestamp in the description area, but I will suggest you to watch all of them as most of the pairs on the list could give us a significant trading opportunity in the upcoming weeks. So the pairs that we will be analyzing today are EURUAUD, EURNZD, AUDCAD, Aussie dollar, CADJPY, CHFJPY, DXY, EUROCHF, EUROJPY, Euro dollar, GBPAUD, British pound US dollar, GBPCAD, GBPCHF, GBPJPY, gold, USDCHF, USDHUF, dollar yen, USDZAR, USOIL, BTCUSD, Ethereum USD, and US 100 and US 30. Now before I begin, make sure you give a big thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. With that being said, let's begin this week's weekly Forex forecast. Okay guys, so let's start with EURUAUD. As usual, I will be looking at the bigger picture first to see overall direction in the market. Then we will jump onto the lower time frame to see what kind of trading opportunity we may have in the upcoming week. So starting with the monthly. Now EURUAUD, as I mentioned in quite a few of my analysis, over the long term, it is in a strongly bearish market. You can see that the market structure is bearish. There is an impulse followed by this correction, impulse followed by this correction, impulse followed by this correction. Now in the last correction, what we have seen that EURUAUD tested this previous support here as resistance. This is the current monthly candle which is going to close. This is the last week of the month. So EURUAUD, we could see a further drop as this is a bearish market overall long term. Now looking at the weekly, if we look at the weekly time frame, we can see that after this big drop followed by this doji, these weeks also we have seen a significant drop. So what is likely to happen in the new trading week? If we look at the daily time frame, what we see that EURUAUD on the daily, there is a doji has been formed at the bottom. Now most traders might think that the price will rise up from here. To me, what I think that EURUAUD might drop from here first before making any move to the upside. So what I would think that EURUAUD could might break this daily top of this doji from this zone, and then we could see a reversal to the downside, and finally at some point we could see that EURUAUD going up for a deeper retracement. So if you look at the intraday or 4-hour time frame, this is where we see that the resistance, the price also tested this 20 period moving average on the 4-hour time frame. So this is the first attempt will be in the new trading week. As soon as the market open, if I see that EURUAUD giving us the trading opportunity that we are looking for, probably to this zone with a narrow stop loss to this level, we could find a significant shorting opportunity to the downside with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at EURNZD. Now all EURUAUD, EURNZD similar kind of price action. As you can see that this is the monthly time frame and the price already this is the monthly, still 1 week to go, but what we have seen that the price already has formed a bearish engulfer. Now we potentially could see further drop on this one, as this is also over the long term a bearish market. You can see that monthly the price has created a series of lower high, and this one basically tested all this high of the monthly, then strongly broke down and closed as a bearish and closing as a bearish engulfer. Now looking at the weekly time frame, we see that past week, this is the weekly candle, this is the doji that has crossed the previous week's high completely and then closed back as a doji. Now after this kind of candle, what we can expect the price to come down again, because we have seen a possible head and shoulder here as well, and we could see significant drop on this one as well. Now looking at the daily, what we see that on the daily time frame there has been a double doji. You can see there is a fake out, there is a manipulation to the upside, across all this level, grab the liquidity, tested this daily 20 period moving average, and then we have seen a drop. So what I think that in the new trading week along this from this zone, we could see that EURNZD having another drop. Now if you look at this intraday or 4-hour time frame, we see a possible head and shoulder in this zone as well. This is the head and shoulder. If you can see, this is the head and shoulder, and then breakdown tested this head and shoulder neckline of this previous support as a resistance, and we can expect now a drop from here. So with that being said, this is the zone that I will be targeting on the new trading week. On the first session, probably we could find a significant trading opportunity. As soon as we will find, we will consider going short on EURNZD with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at AUDCAD. Now looking at the monthly at the same time, AUDCAD, you can see that there was a significant rejection from the bottom on the monthly. Now as you can see, over the long term it's a bearish market, but because we have seen a very strong rejection from this significant level of support, you can see there is a gap opening in the past. During this pandemic time, there was a strong drop here, and we have seen a support here, and from this support on the monthly we see that AUDCAD has a rejection to the upside. Now the way it is moving, what I think that AUDCAD might come back to this doji. You can see there is this back-to-back 3 months opening and closing. This is the zone, and there is a huge liquidity in this zone, and what I think that AUDCAD at some point will come back to this level to test this, and then we might see a rejection. So with that being said, if we look at the weekly, we have seen from this zone, from this bottom, we have seen a pin bar has been formed on the weekly previous week, followed by this week a green strong bullish candle. So what I think that in the new trading week, AUDCAD will rise up probably to this zone where the monthly close we are expecting, or a monthly retest. So we could see a rise up to this level, and then we could see a rejection. So with that being said, primarily we could see a rise on AUDCAD initially this week. So we see this is the daily time frame, the last day of trading week. And what I think that if you see that this is the daily time frame, and there has been an inverted head and shoulder here as well, so we could potentially see that on the daily time frame the price coming back to this neckline of this inverted head and shoulder. This is the resistance, could test as a support, and from here we could see that AUDCAD is going up. So with that in mind, if I see that the price came here, created the pattern that I am looking for potential longing opportunity, then we will look for going long with a high risk to reward ratio on AUDCAD with our students as soon as we will find this trading opportunity. Now looking at the Aussie dollar, now Aussie dollar, as you can see that like AUDCAD, Aussie dollar also has a strong rejection from the bottom, and now dollar looks like a little bit of weaker. So with that in mind, you can see this is the monthly important level of support where Aussie dollar has a bounce. This is the support previously, this is the neckline of this reversal pattern. Now from the same zone we have seen a bounce on the monthly. Now this is the last week of the month. What I think that Aussie dollar might come to this important level of support on the monthly, and then we could see a rejection. So with that in mind, if you look at the weekly, I think that Aussie dollar also could rise up to this level, which is the monthly resistance that we are expecting, and also this is the zone where you could see potential resistance. This is the channel, that weekly channel. Aussie dollar was moving for a very extended period of time, and what I think that the price will go up to test this zone here, and then we could see a rejection from here. So upcoming week we could see some bullish move on Aussie dollar, but what possibly may happen is that the price initially might come down a little bit, probably to this neckline of this reversal pattern. You can see that there is a reversal pattern here, and the price broke to the upside. So this is the resistance of this red candle. I think that the price will come down to this level, and then from here we could potentially see that Aussie dollar is going up. So what I will be doing with our VIP students is I will be waiting for the price to break down, probably testing this 4-hour 20 period moving average, if we see any kind of price action along this zone, then I will be considering going long on Aussie dollar with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at CADJPY. Now CADJPY, this is the 4-hour. As you have seen in my live stream last day of trading week, on this doji formed, we secured a massive trade from this zone. You can watch the live stream on Friday's live stream. You can see that the live trade. If you want to join our VIP team, you can find a link in the description area where you will be learning my strategies to catch this kind of trade, and also trading with me every single day. For more information, you can visit the website. So now CADJPY, there is a strong breakdown. Now let's look at a monthly time frame to see again a bigger picture. Now we see that this is the monthly, it's still not closed, but what I think that we might see a deeper retracement on this one. We could see potential further drop. The reason is you can see that this is the CAD, a big move, almost quite a few months, a strong move without significant retracement. So we could potentially see a retracement in this instrument. Now if we take our Fibonacci on this monthly time frame from the low to the high, what we see that CADJPY, this is the minimum 38.2% Fibonacci level. We could expect that CADJPY to come back to this level of support. At least that can give us a really significant trading opportunity. Looking at the weekly, this is the weekly candle that has closed, and we see that the price already created a strong rejection from the top, and what I think that CADJPY might come down further, as we can expect, at least to this level. That can give us a really significant trading opportunity. Now looking at the daily, this is the daily time frame where we have seen that daily 20 period moving average already crossed and closed down. So what I think that this is the overall bullish market, but the way the price action is forming now, we could see potential deeper retracement. So if we look at the intraday, because this is the long-term bullish market, we may not blindly sell. So what I will be waiting for a slower retracement to this zone. If I see that kind of price action only, then I can take another position with our students to the downside with a high risk to reward ratio. On the other hand, if I see that CADJPY creating another bullish price action, then I will be just waiting to see how it is doing, because it's a long-term bullish market. So this one is with CADJPY. Let's look at CHFJPY. Similarly, we'll be looking at the monthly time frame. Now, like the CADJPY, CHFJPY also strongly bullish. You can see almost back-to-back 6 months strong uprise. Now, as soon as this month, this is last week of the month, we have seen a slow, this is the monthly candle, couldn't break the previous month's high. So we could potentially see further a drop, because it requires a retracement. That's how the market moves. Market may not move all the time in one direction. So if we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high, and we can find a minimum Fibonacci level. This is the minimum Fibonacci level, and probably we could see a retracement to this level this month. With that in mind, if we look at the weekly, you can see that this is the last week of the trading week. A narrow doji has been formed, a bearish doji on the weekly, and what I think that the price might come down again as expected to this level. We could see a little bit of uprise probably along this trend line, and then we could see that CHFJPY is coming down. So if you look at the daily, we have seen on the daily time frame there is a candle that has a element of false breakout, broke this 2-3 daily high, and then we have seen that closed as a pin bar. So from this zone, we could see that CHFJPY coming for a deeper retracement to the downside. So that, with that said, if we look at the intraday or 4-hour, we have seen a potential head and shoulder has been formed. You can see that a head and shoulder. So when we see a head and shoulder, what we can expect the price to come here again to test this support here, okay, support here as a resistance, and then from here we can expect that CHFJPY to drop. So with that in mind, what I will be doing is potential a retest of this head and shoulder. If I see proper price action that is confirming that this is a head and shoulder, as you know that many times you could see a fake move always in the market. So if I see proper price action confirmation for possible shorting opportunity, a possible test of this head and shoulder and rejection, and then only I will be considering going short on CHFJPY to the downside with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at DXY, how it is doing. Now DXY, as you know, the dollar getting a little bit of weaker. Now this is the monthly chart on DXY, and we have seen that there is the price went to a very a high price, which is almost highest in 2002. That means almost 20 years high, and from this zone we have seen that DXY coming down. There is a rejection. Now at this point, what I can expect that DXY coming down further, probably to this level of support here. You can see that this is the red candle. There is a resistance that can act as a support, and from here maybe we could see a pickup. So what I think that the monthly candle might close somewhere here as a as a doji. So with that in mind, weekly we have seen past week there is a strong rejection to the downside. This is the weekly time frame, and what I think that this week also the price might come down to this level. So with that in mind, DXY we might see that a significant drop. So this is the daily, where we can see a head and shoulder has been formed. This is the head, left shoulder, right shoulder. So daily time frame we see a head and shoulder, and last day of trading week we have seen a doji has been formed. So this is the doji on the daily time frame with this daily 20 period moving average. So what I think in the new trading, we might see a little bit of uprise, and then we could see a drop. So if we look at that on the intraday, we see that there is already a reversal pattern or a consolidation, deceleration. So what I think the price might do something like that. So initially we could see a little bit of uprise, probably testing this 20 period moving average on the 4 hour. And if I see possible price action confirmation for going short on DXY from this zone, then I will be considering going short with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at EURUCHF as usual on the monthly. Now we can see that EURUCHF, this is the monthly candle past month. This is over the long term. You can see it's no doubt it's a bearish market, series of lower high and lower low. So this is a long term bearish market. Past month we have seen a bearish engulfer that has crossed all this high and then closed back as a bearish engulfer, followed by this month. After a little retracement, we see a rejection to the downside, drop to the downside. Now you can see that there is no significant support here except this one here. This is a very historical support. So what I think that this month the price might test this support at least. So if we look at the weekly, there is already a rejection. This is a weekly candle. There is a pin bar from the top, and every week the price was creating series of lower high and lower low on EUROCHF. So what I think that in the new trading week, even we could see a gap opening and then could see a drop. So looking at the daily, this on the daily time frame, what we see back to back 3 days, a drop followed by the doji. This is the daily doji, and this doji has a significant, you can see that it has created a fake move to the upside. This is what normally I mostly look for, a fake move. You can see that this daily resistance here, support here, and penetrated this zone to the upside, tested this 20 period moving average, and then has a very, very strong rejection. So with that in mind, there is a liquidity in this market, and what I think that in the new trading week probably might test this doji, this support on the daily as a resistance on the lower time frame, and then we could see drop, or even we could see drop with a gap opening. So euro looks like that might have a bigger move on the new trading week. So this is what I will be waiting for. If I see a gap opening, probably gap up and a big red candle, then I will immediately consider going short if it satisfies the rules of our strategies. On the other hand, if I see that the price gone up a little bit, tested this zone and creating a bearish price action, then also I will be considering going short on EUROCHF with our VIP students with a high risk to reward ratio. So let's look at EUROJPY. Now EUROJPY, starting with the monthly, now you can see that this is the long-term bullish market on EUROJPY monthly time frame. If you see that this is a very long-term bullish market, but what looks like that EUROJPY monthly quite a few months a strong move to the upside. Now what do we see that the market looks like tired? We might see a significant retracement to the downside. Now the price, the market structure, you can see there is an important factor here. If you look at this kind of market structure, it's a bullish market like that, impulse correction, impulse correction. So when it comes for a correction, you could see in most cases the price is testing this previous resistance here as a support, and then from here that we could see that EUROJPY could be moving to the upside. So if you look at the same kind of market structure, you can see it here clearly. See, this is the previous resistance here, support, the same thing here, previous resistance tested as a support, and then uprise. Now what we couldn't see yet, that this resistance has not been tested as a support. So what I think that probably this month or early next month, we could see that EUROJPY could test this previous resistance here. This is the resistance as a support, and from here we could see that EUROJPY is going up. Now looking at the weekly, this is the weekly time frame, and what we see that the price on the weekly, there is a strong rejection from the top, created this pin bar, and with that pin bar we could see next week the price probably coming to this zone or even lower than this. So we could see a drop. Now to me, if you look at the daily, now daily we see a clear a bearish price action in this daily time frame as well. You can see there is a triple top, and then the price couldn't create any new higher high. This current week we have seen an attempt for the buyers to create a new higher high, but instead what it did, that you see this is the last day of trading week, they completely failed to create any new higher high. Instead, from this resistance created a fake move to the upside and closed as a pin bar. So what I think that in the new trading week we could see a little bit of retracement and then drop, or even we could see a gap opening and then drop. So what I will be doing on EUROJPY in the new trading week, I will be waiting for either a gap opening along this zone or a slow retracement or any kind of retracement. If I see significant retracement and trading opportunity, then I will be considering going short on EUROJPY with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at euro dollar. Now dollar looks like getting a little bit of weaker. There is a reason for it. If you look at the monthly, this is the monthly chart on euro dollar, and this is the last week of the month, and what we see that euro dollar, this is the monthly support zone. You can see that this is the previous support here, Now the price already residing in a very low level, as you can see on like the DXY. Euro dollar rejected from this very lower price. This price lastly visited in 2002, which is almost 20 years low, and we see now a buyers buying from this zone. So what I think that the price could rise up at least to this level of support on the monthly. You can see that. So with that in mind, we could see an uprise in the upcoming week. Looking at the weekly, this is the weekly candle that has formed on euro dollar, which is kind of bullish candle in this bearish market. So what I think that euro dollar might come first a little bit of down, probably testing this zone, this resistance as support, or even might open with a gap, and then we could see that euro dollar is going up to test this previous support as resistance. So with that in mind, this is the daily. We have seen a doji here on the daily, last day of trading week. So this could be the wave for euro dollar, first going out a little bit. This is the daily chart coming down, even probably coming to this zone. Already there is an inverted head and shoulder, probably creating a higher low, and then we could see that euro dollar is going up to test this previous support here as a resistance, and we could see a monthly close along this zone. So that could be the fate of euro dollar. So if we look at the intraday or 4-hour time frame, so what I will be doing for longing opportunity, you can see that this is the wave that I am expecting. I need to see euro dollar has created this kind of price action. If I see this is the situation, then I will be considering going long with euro dollar to the upside with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at GBPAUD, looking at the monthly for the bigger picture. Now GBPAUD monthly time frame, you can see that this is a long-term bearish market. Why? Because there is a strong breakdown followed by this consolidation and deceleration, and then we see another breakdown. Now this current monthly candle, there is a significant in it. You see this is a little bit of fake move to the upside, crossing the previous month's high, and then closing like as a bearish engulfer. It's still not closed. This is the monthly candle, and what I think that might come down further. Looking at the weekly, this is the weekly candle. You can see that the price already created a series of lower high on the weekly. It's a reversal pattern, a nice reversal pattern. You can see this is the nice reversal pattern, and followed by this weekly doji. This is the weekly doji, and with that weekly doji, the way it has formed, this is a middleman that I say. Now we see with this middleman, there is a test of this support. This is the support here, this is the support here. Now what I think that GBPAUD could do after a little bit of retracement to the upside from this zone, we could see a drop on GBPAUD. Now looking at the daily, this is where it looks like to me that this is the daily time frame. You see there is a rejection from the bottom, and at some point we could see the price going up a little bit, probably along this doji on the daily time frame, and from this zone we could see that GBPAUD is continuing to drop. So looking at the intraday, this is where I think that there is an opportunity. Already you see on the 4 hour there is a rejection here, there is a fake move to the upside, and what I think that even the price could continue to drop along this trend line. So there is a long week candle, you can see here resistance, and we could see the prices going up. From this resistance we could see that GBPAUD is coming down. So this is what I think that possible trading opportunity. As soon as I will find shorting opportunity along this zone on GBPAUD, I will be considering going short with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at GBPUSD. Now looking at the GBPUSD, this is the monthly. Like all other pairs, GBPUSD also was a long-term bearish, but what I think that we might see a significant retracement to the upside. So looking at the weekly, this is the weekly candle that has formed on GBPUSD last day of trading week. So this is kind of bullish candle in this bearish market. So what I think that we might see a little bit of uprise on the new trading week. There is you see there is a narrow doji green. We could see the prices going up to test this support. This is the support here. It could test as a resistance, and from this zone we could see that GBPUSD is coming down. So looking at the daily, you can see that there back-to-back two dojis has been formed on the daily time frame. So what I think in the new trading week, the price might go up along this trend line. There is an inverted head and shoulder has been formed on daily. So what I think that GBPUSD might rise up from this zone. If you look at the intraday or 4 hour, this is where we could potentially see a significant trading opportunity. If I see the prices coming down to this zone, and if I see a bullish price action along this zone, then I will be considering going long on GBPUSD with our VIP students with a high risk to reward ratio. Now let's look at GBPCAD. Now looking at the monthly, you see that GBPCAD over the long term, this is a monthly chart. You can see there is a big drop on the monthly time frame. The price is now on the baseline. This is a level of support here. You can see this is a very strong level of support on the monthly, and the price already there is a big drop. So the price should go for retracement. But let's look at the weekly time frame, how it is doing. The weekly, because it's a very big drop, we may not go see a strong move up. We could see up and down, but weekly, if you look at the weekly price action, this is also a bearish candle to me on the weekly. So how I will be approaching this market, this is the daily time frame. You can see that the price, there is a daily bearish engulfer. You can see this one. So what I think that GBPCAD might do, it might come along this resistance again. From this resistance we could see that GBPCAD again coming down. So this is where I will be waiting for a possible price action confirmation, as only if I see that possible price action confirmation on the intraday or 4 hour, if it respect this resistance creating a price action that is tradable, then only I will be considering going short on GBPCAD with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at GBPCHF. Now GBPCHF looks like this one is strongly bearish. As you can see that CHF is getting a little bit of stronger, and this is the monthly chart. This is the last month of the trade candle. Previous months we have seen a very strong bearish candle. This one tested this neckline of all this monthly resistance, and there is a long candle that has a long wick at the top, long wick at the bottom. So this candle is a really strongly bearish candle. This month is still only 1 week to go, but the price didn't make it through significantly. So in the upcoming week we could see a strong move on this one. So looking at the weekly, you see that the price created a nice bearish price. There is a strong movement followed by this green, and with this green candle there is a retracement to the upside. And as soon as this new weekly open previous week with this red candle, we have seen that the price couldn't break the high. You see, this is the price couldn't break the high. Instead it has a strong breakdown. So this week the price went above for a retracement, and we have seen a kind of pin bar. So what I think that in the new trading week might do, that it might even open with a gap and then continue to drop. So looking at the daily, this is where we see kind of head and shoulder has been formed on the daily. The price already broke this head and shoulder. So what I think, the price probably from this neckline support here, you can see that this is the support here on the head and shoulder. This is the support might test as a resistance, and from this zone we could see that GBPCHF is dropping. So if you look at the intraday or 4 hour time frame, we see that there is a price action creating kind of bearish. This doji last candle of the last session of the last day of trading week, we have seen a doji that has crossed the previous one's high. So there is already some liquidity in it. What I think that in the new trading week we might see even a gap up and a long red candle. If I see this kind of price action or any kind of price action that is confirming for a further drop, I will not delay to send this trade to our VIP students, and also I will be trading if it gives me significant risk to reward ratio. Now let's look at GBPJPY. GBPJPY, like all other JPY pairs, looks like that GBP might get a little bit of weaker and JPY is getting a little bit of stronger. We could find a good shorting opportunity on GBPJPY in the upcoming week. So let's analyze fully. Looking at the monthly first, you can see that this is the monthly candlestick. We have seen that after the previous month's doji, these months the price came down to this level went above. Now we see another impulse to the downside. What I think that the price might come back to this baseline previous to test this previous resistance here as a support on GBPJPY. Now looking at the weekly, this is the weekly candlestick. You can see that there is a pin bar on the weekly time frame, and what we see that on the weekly GBPJPY has created this pin bar, and it's a strongly bearish pin bar, and I think that the price will continue to drop. Even it could have a bigger drop. Even it is not impossible to see that GBPJPY testing this dynamic support here. You can see also the same way this support has been tested, so might be tested. So with that in mind, we could see a drop on GBPJPY daily time frame. This is a bearish price action. Why? Because you see there is an attempt from the buyer. It's a strong impulse followed by this correction. Another impulse, the buyers couldn't create a higher high, instead it created a lower high. Another drop, and then another trial. Still the buyers couldn't create a new higher high, instead created a lower high on GBPJPY. So with that in mind, what we could see that GBPJPY from this zone, you can see this is the support. It might a breakdown. So if we look at the intraday or 4-hour time frame, what we see that GBPJPY might go up for a slow retracement. Might go for a retracement, and then it could drop. So what we will be doing with our VIP students is we will be waiting for a potential retracement to the upside, and then we will consider going short on GBPJPY to the downside with a high risk to reward ratio. Now let's look at gold, how it is doing. Now we see that, first of all, looking at the monthly, this is what exactly I mentioned in all my analysis weekly forex forecast. Probably you have seen when even the price was here. What did I say? That gold has created this bullish price action and then failed to create any new higher high, instead created a lower high. So what gold might do? Gold might create a new lower low, and the price did exactly as it is almost 4 months ago. This is what exactly I have predicted. So probably you made a good profit on the trade. If you watched that analysis, give a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe. If you want to join my VIP team, the link in the description area. You will be learning my strategies and also trading with me every single day. I'll suggest you to check it out in the link in the description area. You can visit the website. Now let's see what's happening on gold this current month. What might do? You see this is the current monthly candle, and after the previous month's pin bar, we have seen a strong drop. Now if we look at the monthly support zone, this is the monthly support. What we see that support here, okay, support here, support here. So this is the monthly support, and from this support we have seen a primary rejection to the upside. So what I think, this is the last week of the trading week, we might see further uprise, because this is a very, very strongly monthly support. The price already has created a lower low, just cross this little bit, this low, and then we have seen a rejection to the upside. Looking at the weekly, this is the weekly candlestick, we have seen already a rejection. What I think that after a little retracement down, we could see that gold is going up again. As you can see the price, if you analyze the market structure, we have seen there is a double top here and then drop followed by this retracement, and then this is the resistance here, this is the support here, tested as a resistance, and then we have seen another drop. So now what we can expect, the price to go up again. This is the previous support here. Okay, this is the support here, support here. Now we could see a test as resistance, and then we could see another rejection. So with that in mind, this week we might see gold is rising. This is the daily time frame. The price already has created kind of preparing for an inverted head and shoulder. So what I think in the new trading week, we could see little bit of drop, maybe a red candle or a doji, and then we could see that gold is going up to test this previous support here as a resistance. So with that in mind, let's look at the intraday. This is where I will be considering going long if I think that first we might see another drop, probably break this low and then completing an inverted head and shoulder and testing probably this 4-hour 20 period moving average. If I see this kind of price action where it is testing here, rejecting from the bottom, creating a proper retracement, and then I will be considering going long on gold with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at USDCHF, how this price action is doing. Now looking at the monthly USDCHF, there is a significant uprise on the monthly first 3 weeks, and then we see that there is a rejection from this middle of this see that there is a lot of seller in this zone, and we have seen a rejection now to the downside. What I think that USDCHF might come down further, probably test this monthly support again. You can see that this is the resistance here. It has not been tested properly as a support. So what I think that USDCHF might come down further to test this zone, and then we could see a bullish. So as you know that USD getting a little bit of weaker, CHF getting a little bit of stronger, so we could see a drop on this one as well. Looking at the weekly, after the weekly doji, we saw there is a strong drop. Now in this weekly doji, we see series of lower high has been created. So what I think in the new trading week could be a gap opening even, and then we could see a drop, then probably we'll see along this dynamic support that we could see that USDCHF again picking up. So looking at the daily, this is where we see a potential support. You can see this is the daily resistance here, support here, and what I think that USDCHF might come to this level of support, and from this zone we could see that USDCHF is going up. So daily time frame, this is the price action. Now if you look at the intraday or 4-hour, so we see already a bearish price action here. You can see nice looking a drop followed by this consolidation and deceleration drop, and there is a doji. This is the last 4-hour candle. What I think that in the new trading week we could see that, even not impossible to see that this 4-hour doji is being respected and the price is dropping from here. So if this is the situation on the first session, if I see possible trading opportunity, I'll be considering going short on USDCHF to the downside with a high risk to reward ratio. Now let's look at USDHUF. Now this is a exotic pair, so let's quickly look at how it might do. Looks like that it's a long-term bullish, but we could see there is a strong rejection. We could see this is the weekly time frame. We could see further drop on this one as well. So looking at the daily, now this is the daily time frame. The price action looks like the DXY, almost the similar way. We have seen that on the daily time frame there is a head and shoulder has been formed, and on that head and shoulder we see that there is a doji is formed. So this is the doji on the daily time frame, and with that in mind, this is the doji, and I think that the price might break down from here to the downside, and that is what I will be doing. I will be waiting for a possible shorting opportunity as soon as I will find proper price action confirmation to the downside with a high risk to reward ratio. Now let's look at dollar yen. Now dollar, as you see that yen getting a little bit of stronger, dollar getting a little bit of weaker. So dollar yen, we could potentially see a drop. Now let's see bigger picture monthly. Now dollar yen on the monthly, there was a significant uprise. This price was historically high, and we have seen on the monthly there is some rejection. So because it's a very historically high price, and we see started to reject, we could see further rejection, and I think that dollar yen even might come to test this previous resistance as a support. You see that there is a long narrow doji. We could see that this is the resistance, could be tested as a support, and from here we could see that dollar yen going up. So with that in mind, we could see a further drop on the upcoming trading week. Now looking at the weekly, this is the last week of the trading, weekly candle on the last trading week. So we have seen there is a bearish candle. Now this one is a really strongly bearish, and what I think it might even open with a gap and then continue to drop, or we could see a little bit of retracement and then drop. So looking at the daily, how we want to see, this is the daily chart, and you see there is a already on the daily there is a rejection. This candle has grabbed liquidity, followed by this last day of trading weeks kind of middleman that I consider as a middleman. There is a long wick at the top, long wick at the bottom, and it has tested this reversal pattern, this previous support as resistance. So this is a nice selling candle. So what I will be doing, potential shorting opportunity along this zone. Why? Because you see there is a resistance here on the daily, resistance here, support here, and there is a daily 20 period moving average. So if we keep this zone and look at the intraday or 4 hour, what we could see on the new trading week, even it is not impossible to see that dollar yen open with a gap and then dropping from here, or we could see a little bit of uprise testing this zone that we have shaded to the upside, and then from here we could see potential shorting. So this is what I will be doing on the new trading week, waiting for a potential shorting opportunity along this zone with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at USDZAR, how it is doing. Looking at the monthly, now monthly USDZAR, we have seen the price already reached this important level of resistance. Why it is important? Because you see there is a long doji. The price almost reached around 50% of this long wick doji. Now if you draw a level, what you see, this is where exactly we have seen a rejection on the monthly. So what I think that the price might come back to the monthly opening and closing again. So with that in mind, USDZAR could see a drop. Looking at the weekly, this is the last candle of the weekly. This is a bearish candle. It couldn't break the high. So what I think that the price might come along this trend line, and from this trend line we could see a drop, or even it could drop with a gap opening daily. So what I think that USDZAR, because it's a long term a bullish market, so only if I see proper price action confirmation, probably with opening with a gap like the dollar yen, the same kind of price action, if I see along this zone possible trading opportunity, probably going up little bit, testing this neckline of this reversal pattern, or probably testing this trend line that we have drawn, and along this zone I will be waiting for a potential shorting opportunities. As per the structure has been formed, then I will be considering going short with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at US oil, how it is doing. Looking at the monthly, now we see that US oil was in a very strongly bullish trend for a very long period of time. Now this is the monthly. We see after the previous month's drop, this month after retracement, we see a drop. Now what I think that you can see from the price action, the price probably might come down further to test this monthly resistance here to test as a support. So we could see this month's last week of the month, or even the early next week, first week of the month, we could see further drop on US oil. Looking at the weekly, this is the weekly chart where we see a clear head and shoulder, so meaning that we could see further drop. And this is the last week of the trading week. We see that the price already tested this neckline, this support here as resistance on the weekly, and we see a significant rejection. Now looking at the daily, this is where we see the price is coming down, respecting this dynamic resistance along this channel, this 20 period moving average, and then we have seen that the price, we could see that the price is coming down further. So for US oil, I need to see again test of this daily 20 period moving average, as the price is respecting this resistance. So selling from this zone is the best possible trading opportunity. So if I see possible trading opportunity along this zone, then only I will be considering going short on US oil with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at cryptocurrencies, starting with BTCUSD. Now looking at the monthly, this is the BTCUSD monthly. You can see that the price, this is the resistance on the monthly time frame, this is the support on the monthly. This is what exactly I mentioned all the time when the price was here, even that BTCUSD likely to come back to this monthly, and this is the old resistance to test as support, and we see the price did exactly as it is. But it doesn't mean that the price will now start to go up. Why? Because you see that there is a strong move down to this level of support, and what I think that BTCUSD might move in a sideways for extended period of time before picking up. So looking at the weekly, this is the after 1 day this candle is going to close. What I think that the price might move along this zone in a sideways, but to go for a potential longing opportunity, what I need that BTCUSD probably coming along this trend line. You can see it is creating kind of trend line. So what I need, BTCUSD come down to this level. If I see that it's coming to this level respecting this trend line, this daily support here, support here, support here, and you can see that the price is creating a series of higher low. So we can expect the price to come down again to create a higher low, and then we will consider going long on BTCUSD for a short term gain with a high risk to reward ratio. So this one is with BTCUSD. Now both Ethereum USD and BTCUSD might behave in the same way. You can see that on the Ethereum there is a consolidation, and this consolidation we have seen, this is the daily chart, series of higher low. So what I think that there is a a price now, we can expect the price come back now to this level to test this previous resistance here, resistance here, resistance here as a support, and then we can consider going long. So for Ethereum also I need to see the price is coming to this zone, because there was a strong drop and impulsively buying is not a good idea. We need to see the price in a proper support before buying this crypto. Okay, so let's look at US 100. Let's see how we can trade this one. Now first of all, let's look at the bigger picture, monthly. Now this is the monthly chart. As you can see that there was a significant drop on the monthly on US 100, except this month we have seen a retracement to the upside on this pair. So we see that this is the monthly support here. Now let's draw this level of support on the monthly time frame. Now from this zone we have seen a rejection to the upside. Now you can see that on this monthly support there is a there was a monthly head and shoulder here as well. You can see there is a, this is the head, this is the head and left shoulder and the right shoulder. Okay, so with that head and shoulder there is a long doji here. This is the support of this head and shoulder. Now with this current monthly candle we see this testing as a resistance, and because it's a significant resistance, support test as resistance, we could see a rejection from here. Now looking at the daily weekly, we see this is the weekly candle. The past week already test this previous support here as a resistance, and from here we could see that US 100 to continue to drop. Now looking at the daily, so this is where we see nice price action on the daily time frame. We have seen a nice looking bearish engulfer. Now in this bearish engulfer, what you see, this had crossed the high, crossed the low, a full body red. That's a strong bearish engulfer. From this level of support here as a resistance. Now from this zone we could potentially see that US 100 is coming down. So if we look at the intraday 4 hour, what I think that US 100, you see that already there has been a double top formation, but the price still didn't test this neckline. You see there is there is a resistance here on the 4 hour. So what I think, in the new trading week, the price will go up a little bit, test this previous support as resistance, and then we could see that US 100 is coming down. So this is what I will be expecting on US 100. Now, as you know that all the pairs is indices almost the similar kind of price action. The same thing, US 30, you can see that there is a reversal pattern here. This is the previous support here, might test as a resistance, and from this zone we could see potential drop on US 30, and that is what I will be expecting on US 30 to the downside. So these are the pairs that we will be looking, and also in addition to this, if there is any pairs giving us significant trading opportunity, definitely we will consider trading that as well. In the meantime, guys, if you want to learn my strategies and also join my trading program, well, you will be trading with me every day and also learning my strategies. I'll suggest you to visit the website, link in the description area. There is a discount going on which is ending soon. Thank you for watching. See you soon in my next video.